The Philistines paid for Samson's blind rage. The secrets that true lovers share should never have been betrayed. He was blinded by love. So don't be blinded by love of the globe, because you are emotionally invested in all that nonsense if you're a glober. And it is quite a it's quite a chore. It's quite an emotional roller coaster ride when you do realise that you've been lied to all your life. It's not easy, but it's very worthwhile when you come out the other end. Let me tell you, it's a massive relief, and you see things clearly, much more clearly. I know there's several things that are unexplained, but that's fine. I'd rather them be unexplained than explained by lies. Because like I've said before, you tell a little lie at the beginning, and then you've got to build on that lie just to carry on the subterfuge. That's life. That's we've all experienced that, I'm sure, as children or as adults even. And anyway, work yourself out of that nonsense. If you still believe in the spinning ball, it's not real. And I've heard other people say this, and it's this is very true to me anyway. Somewhere in the deep recesses, I knew it was true. Straight away, I thought, what's this bloody nonsense? Flat what? Get over it, But I had to look into it because those deep recesses were telling me that there's something to this. And maybe you've thought there's something wrong, not quite right. Well, this is what it is. It is the lies that you've been told. And it's obvious that people who teach you the lies aren't lying. They're just simply regurgitating the nonsense that they were taught and the methods in which to do it. If you're a teacher, you get trained in how to lie, but not how to lie as such, but how to parrot the nonsense that, but not just parrot it, but to instill it in the youth. Such a shame that so many people are just totally fucked up by this incredibly bizarre model called the spinning ball Earth. I think some people call it the globe. That's all you hear, isn't it? I only listen to the radio, but yes, it's a global thing now, and globally it's gone like this, and it's going to be global. Apparently, you can see the Saddleworth Moor fire from space. So NASA say, and so the BBC relay that bullshit, quite knowingly, I think, that it's nonsense. anyway, when was it? Friday. It is now Saturday. So yesterday, believe it or not, well, don't believe it. No, it's true. But I went and uploaded a couple of vlogs and downloaded some videos. One of which I thought may be interesting. I didn't enjoy watching it, but it was my old friend. And I'm sorry that if I introduced this person to you, but here you go. Richard D. Hall. And it was entitled, this is why I was intrigued by it, it was entitled Space the Final Frontier, or something like that. Now, he explains, and he takes the piss out of the people who know the Earth's flat. And that is it's a kind of signal to me that he is a gatekeeper. It's quite obvious, actually, if you watch the whole thing like I did, under some duress, but there you go. Now, Richard D. Hall, in the past, I found him quite interesting because he looked into the Mars rover when he found it to be total nonsense, and I thought, and this is before I knew the Earth was not a spinning ball. And then he sort of changed track. He went to Madeleine McCann, and of course, hours and hours of nonsense on that. Well, I don't know if it's nonsense or not, but hours and hours of documentary, and of course, no final declaration of who did it, or no real suspects, really. He's trying to say it's a cover-up, probably paedophilia is involved, all that awful stuff. Now, that is, you mentioned paedophilia, the vast majority of people react and want justice, want this to stop, want the perpetrators to be dealt with, and it's a very emotive subject. So it's very it captures your attention and takes you possibly away from other things. So perhaps that failed. I don't know, but now he's back. I haven't seen him for some months, and now he's back, and he's into space. Now, he gives these lectures. He goes around the country giving these lectures, much as David Icke does. Not on such a big scale, but same sort of thing. Now he's proposing that aliens exist, and there's a secret space program. He actually says that the Apollo missions are obviously nonsense because they can't support them anymore. They can't defend such blatant lies as the Apollo missions or the Mars rover nonsense going to Mars. Obviously, that's not right, and he's outwardly admitting that all that was just a deception, a made-up a load of bollocks. So now he still believes in space, unfortunately, and the planet, and this is what he's saying anyway. And little green men, and that visitors and all that nonsense as well. And to see him describing how rockets work in a vacuum was, I didn't know really whether to laugh or cry, but I could see he was under some kind of you could tell he was lying. You could tell that he knew damn well that rockets don't work in space, or maybe it just dawned on him while he was telling that crowd of people. And hang on, this is bullshit. He was on about, he made the comparison to a car taking its road surface with it. I mean, come on. There's nothing to push against. That's what you said. Oh, but in space there's nothing to push against. Yeah, that's why they don't work in space, Richard. So he is just a massive gatekeeper. I nearly said gamekeeper, which I think they're about on the same level. Anyway, he is parading this nonsense up and down the country, filming it, then putting it on YouTube. You can't comment on his channel, but he's been, well, he said that he'd been sent a great many emails telling him that the Earth was flat. And I, in fact, sent him one of them, I don't know, well over a year ago now it'll be, telling him to look into it, asking him, actually, very politely, to look into it. And of course, he's no need to, because he knows that he's paid probably by some kind of officialdom, and his whole idea is to make people believe that there is a secret space program and a lot of monsters are coming to get us. And it all ties in with this the like military task force that they're assembling for space. So it's going to happen, people. It's going to, this alien invasion false flag is on its way, and it's kind of a race between the people who are waking up and the people who are still totally under the influence of the spinning ball nonsense and Star Wars and Doctor Who, Star Trek and Beam Me Up Scotty. So it would be great to see the reactions of these the people when they announce that some little green men have taken control of the White House or whatever, because that was the plan. We were told that was the plan decades. Well, it has been the plan for decades. Wasn't it Werner von Braun who announced it on his death? I know you can't really believe all that, but it seems like it's really going to happen. So there you go. I don't know what to say about that, apart from when it does happen, all the people who know the Earth's flat will just laugh it off, and the other people will be running for their lives, and no need. See you later.